Welcome to the Truth Chronicles, where we peel back the layers of history to reveal the stories behind the legends. In this episode, we delve into the life of a man whose name is synonymous with laughter and joy, a man whose life was a symphony of triumph and struggle, a man who made the world laugh while hiding behind the mask of a character. This is the story of Charles Spencer Chaplin, the man behind the iconic character of the Tramp. Journey with us as we trace the steps of this extraordinary individual. From his humble beginnings in the heart of London to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Buckle up, dear viewers, as we embark on a journey through time, tracing the footsteps of a legend. This is the untold story of Charlie Chaplin. Who doesn't know the iconic character of the Tramp? A character that has left a lasting imprint on the canvas of cinematic history was birthed by the genius of Charles Spencer Chaplin. Born on the 16th of April, 1889, in the heart of Walworth, London, England, Chaplin's journey was anything but ordinary. His parents, both music hall performers, were his first introduction to the world of performing arts. However, the glittering stage of their performances was a stark contrast to their offstage lives, marred by uncertainty and struggle. The abandonment by his father plunged the family into dire straits, leading to young Chaplin being sent to a workhouse. Yet, amid the hardship, a spark was kindled. Chaplin, the child of the stage, began to discover his passion and talent for performance, singing and dancing in music halls. His charisma was evident, his talent undeniable. The stage was his refuge, a place where he could escape the harsh realities of life and immerse himself in the world of make-believe. This love for performance would eventually lead him to join a comedy troupe called the Fred Carnot Company. Not just any troupe, but one that would become his ticket to the United States in 1910, marking the start of a new chapter in his life. It was in 1913, 4 years after his arrival on the American soil, that Chaplin would step into the world of films. Starting with Keystone Studios and moving on to S&A and Mutual Films, Chaplin was in the process of honing his craft. Little did he know then that he was on the verge of creating a character that would become a timeless symbol of comedy. The Tramp, a lovable vagrant with a distinctive moustache and bowler hat. Young Chaplin, destined for greatness, began his journey on the stage, far from the glittering lights of Hollywood. But as fate would have it, it was this very stage that would serve as a stepping stone to his legendary career in the world of cinema. Opening, Chaplin's talent was not confined to the British Isles. Indeed, a bright future awaited him across the Atlantic. As a young performer honing his craft in the music halls of England, Chaplin was a ball of energy and creativity. His innate ability to captivate audiences with his singing and dancing was undeniable. Yet it was his venture into the realm of comedy that would truly set his career in motion. The Fred Carnot Company, a well-known comedy troupe, recognized Chaplin's potential and offered him a spot in their ensemble. This was a pivotal moment in his career, as it was with this company that he would travel to the United States in 1910, a journey that would change the course of his life. Once in America, Chaplin's career took an exciting turn. In the year 1913, he began working in films, first with Keystone Studios and later with S&A and Mutual Films. It was a time of experimentation and growth as Chaplin explored the possibilities of this new medium. While working with these studios, Chaplin developed a character that would become an icon of silent film. A lovable vagrant with a distinctive moustache and bowler hat, the Tramp was born. This character, with his comedic antics and heartwarming vulnerability, resonated with audiences worldwide. Through the Tramp, Chaplin was able to communicate universal human experiences, transcending language and cultural barriers. The creation of the Tramp was not just a significant moment in Chaplin's career, but a turning point in cinematic history. This character, with its distinctive physical comedy and emotional depth, challenged the conventions of silent film and set a new standard for comedic performance. Closing, the Tramp, a character that would become universally loved, marked the beginning of Chaplin's skyrocketing fame. With the creation of this timeless character, Chaplin's journey from the music halls of England to the silver screens of America was complete. His star was on the rise, and the world was ready to laugh, cry, and dream along with the Tramp. From the humble streets of London to the global stage, Chaplin's star was on the rise. His charm and comedic genius soon catapulted him into unprecedented fame. The mid-1910s marked the rapid growth of his popularity, making him one of the most renowned comedians globally. His films didn't just captivate audiences in the United States, they crossed borders, languages, and cultures. As they were released internationally, they were often dubbed or subtitled, allowing his comedic brilliance to reach and resonate with audiences far and wide. In the year 1915, Chaplin took a monumental step in his career. He founded his own production company, Lone Star Studios. This move was more than just a business venture, it was an assertion of creative freedom. It allowed him greater control over his projects, enabling him to produce, direct, write, and star in his films. He was no longer just a performer, he was a creator, a visionary who held the reins of his artistry. This newfound control led to the creation of some of the most successful films of his career. The Gold Rush in 1925, City Lights in 1931, and Modern Times in 1936 are just a few shining examples. These films were not only commercial hits, but they were also hailed as masterpieces of the silent film era. They showcased Chaplin's ability to blend humor with poignant social commentary, a trait that would become a hallmark of his body of work. Chaplin's rise to stardom was nothing short of meteoric. From the music halls of London to the silver screens of Hollywood, his journey was a testament to his resilience, talent, and sheer force of will. It was a journey marked by laughter and tears, success and controversy. But through it all, he remained an icon of the film industry. With his own production company, Chaplin was not just a star, he was a force to be reckoned with in the film industry. His influence extended beyond his roles in front of the camera, shaping the very landscape of cinema as we know it today. Beyond the laughter and the slapstick, Chaplin had something to say. He was a man of profound thoughts who used his art as a means to voice his political views and social commentary. Chaplin was not one to shy away from controversy and often found himself in the midst of it due to his outspoken nature. His views were a reflection of the times he lived in, a world that was grappling with the rise of fascism and the onset of World War II. Chaplin was a staunch critic of fascism, a political ideology that he saw as a threat to democracy and human rights. He expressed his criticisms not through speeches or articles, but through his most powerful tool, his films. In the midst of World War II, Chaplin took a bold step. He decided to make a film that would satirize the two most infamous figures of the time, Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini. Released in 1940, The Great Dictator was a daring and audacious move. It was a film that ridiculed Hitler and Mussolini, mocking their pretensions and exposing their absurdities. The film was a commentary on the political climate of the time, and it resonated with audiences around the world. Chaplin played two roles in the film, one of a Jewish barber, a character reminiscent of his beloved Tramp, and the other of Adenoid Hinkle, a caricature of Hitler. In a powerful monologue that closes the film, Chaplin, as the barber, makes an impassioned plea for humanity and democracy, a speech that is considered one of the greatest in film history. Chaplin's political views and his criticism of fascism were not always well received. He was accused of being a communist and was targeted by the FBI. Yet, he never backed down, continuing to express his views through his films and his public statements. Chaplin, with his wit and his art, was not just a comedian, he was a commentator on the world stage. His voice resonated beyond the silver screen, echoing in the hearts and minds of the people, and continues to do so even today. Behind the laughter and the moustache, there was a man with his share of controversies. A man known for his comic genius, Charles Spencer Chaplin, was also a figure of intrigue and scandal in his personal life. Chaplin, with his expressive eyes and silent films, could speak volumes without uttering a word, but off-screen his life was a whirlwind of romantic entanglements and scandals. Chaplin was married 4 times, each union steeped in its own drama and controversy. His first wife, Mildred Harris, was a teenager when she wed the then 30-year-old Chaplin. Their brief marriage ended in a bitter divorce, leaving a trail of scandalous headlines in its wake. Chaplin's second wife, Lita Gray, was also a teenager when they got married. The union was fraught with acrimony, leading to another publicized divorce. Chaplin's romantic life continued to be a roller coaster, with his subsequent marriages to Paulette Goddard and Una O'Neill, each drawing its share of public interest and controversy. But it wasn't just his marriages that caused a stir. Chaplin's affairs were equally scandalous. His relationship with the 17-year-old Mildred Harris, while still married to Lita Gray, was a source of much gossip and controversy. Despite the scandal, Chaplin seemed undeterred, continuing his pattern of romantic entanglements with younger women. Yet it would be amiss to remember Chaplin solely for his personal life. For behind the controversies there was a man who dared to challenge norms and conventions, both on and off the screen. He was a man who used his art to comment on society and politics, unafraid to voice his views, even when they were deemed controversial. Chaplin's personal life may have been filled with scandals and controversies, but it was his genius as a filmmaker, his ability to make the world laugh, and his courage to speak his mind that truly defined him. Chaplin, a man of many talents and controversies, remained an enigma, forever immortalized as the beloved tramp. Was it a peaceful departure or a tale mired in controversy for the beloved in cinema, Charlie Chaplin? Did Chaplin, known for his cinematic trickery, pull off the ultimate disappearing act? Beneath the laughter and his iconic silent antics, there exists a shroud of mystery surrounding his later life and death. So grab your detective hats as we dive deep into the mysteries surrounding the later life and death of Charlie Chaplin. Post-World War II, Chaplin's star began to lose its shine. The world had changed, and with it, the tastes and sensibilities of its people. The whimsical slapstick humor that had once catapulted Chaplin to stardom was now seen as outdated. Comedy was evolving, taking on a more sophisticated, nuanced tone, and Chaplin's style was being left behind. But it wasn't just a shift in comedy that contributed to Chaplin's dwindling popularity. The political climate of the period was fraught with tension and paranoia. The world was caught in the throes of the Cold War, and America was swept up in what is now known as the Red Scare. This was a time when anyone with even a hint of left-wing sympathies was viewed with suspicion. Chaplin, with his outspoken political views and progressive ideals, was no exception. His films, once beloved for their humor and heart, were now scrutinized for subversive messages. His personal life too came under intense scrutiny. Chaplin's relationships, his lifestyle, and even his nationality were questioned and criticized. The McCarthyist forces, named after Senator Joseph McCarthy, were at the forefront of this witch hunt. They saw Chaplin not just as a comedian past his prime, but as a threat to American society. They painted him as a subversive influence, a left-wing ideologue who used his films to propagate his political beliefs. This relentless scrutiny and the changing public sentiment took a toll on Chaplin. Professionally, his films were no longer the box office successes they once were. Personally, he was hounded by accusations and innuendo. The man who had once been the darling of America was now seen as its enemy. Faced with increasing hostility, Chaplin took a decision that changed the course of his life. But as we'll see, this was far from the end of the enigma that was Charlie Chaplin. His later life and death would be shrouded in mysteries and controversies, adding another layer to the already fascinating story of this legendary entertainer. In 1952, Chaplin found himself a new home in Switzerland. Caught in the maelstrom of political upheaval, Chaplin's star began to dim in the United States. His popularity waned, his films subjected to increasing scrutiny. The McCarthyist forces, ever vigilant for subversive influences during the Cold War, saw Chaplin as a potential threat. Accusations of communist sympathies began to swirl around him, casting a shadow over his illustrious career. The pressure intensified, and Chaplin, feeling the sting of the mounting allegations, made a decision. He bid adieu to the United States, the country that had been his home for almost 4 decades, and sought refuge in the serene landscapes of Switzerland. It was here, amidst the tranquil mountains and placid lakes, that Chaplin chose to live out the remainder of his life. In Switzerland, Chaplin found a sanctuary away from the glare of the McCarthyist witch hunt. He settled in Corsier-sur-Vevey, a picturesque village located on the shores of Lake Geneva. This was a stark contrast to the hustle and bustle of Hollywood, a place where he could seek solace and peace, away from the prying eyes and relentless accusations. These were years of exile, but they were far from being years of inactivity. Chaplin continued his creative pursuits, albeit at a slower pace. He wrote books, composed music, and occasionally returned to filmmaking. Despite the controversies and the exile, Chaplin's creative spark remained undimmed. Yet the exile also came with a sense of isolation. He was a man adrift, cut off from the world that had once adored him. He missed the limelight, the applause, the thrill of entertaining millions, but he bore his exile with grace, choosing to focus on his art, his family, and his newfound tranquility. Living away from the limelight, Chaplin spent his final years in Switzerland. His years of exile became years of introspection, years of peace. His was a life that had seen the heights of fame and the depths of controversy, and yet in the end he found contentment in the quiet, idyllic life of his Swiss sanctuary. On Christmas Day 1977, the world bid farewell to Charlie Chaplin. A day of joy and celebration turned into one of sorrow as news of Chaplin's death spread across the globe. At the ripe age of 88, one of the greatest performers of the 20th century breathed his last. The official accounts painted a picture of a peaceful end. It was said that Chaplin, in his Swiss manner, succumbed to the inevitable march of time, dying of natural causes. An end, one might say, befitting a man who had lived such a full and vibrant life, who had brought laughter and joy to millions. But, as often is the case with figures of such high stature and intrigue, the waters surrounding his demise were not as clear as they might seem. Whispers of conspiracy theories began to circulate, casting a shadow of doubt over the official narrative. Some suggested foul play, pointing to Chaplin's contentious political beliefs and his numerous conflicts with powerful figures. Could it be that Chaplin, the outspoken critic of the establishment, fell victim to the very forces he dared to challenge? Others posited an even darker theory: suicide. Did the weight of his declining popularity, the exile from his beloved America, and the isolation of his later life push Chaplin to take his own life? Or was this just another fabrication, a sensationalist tale spun to tarnish the legacy of a legend? And then there were those who believed in the most outlandish theory of them all. They claimed that Chaplin, the master of disguise and illusion, staged his own death to escape the glaring spotlight of fame. Could it be that the man who spent his life on the stage had performed his greatest act in death? Each theory, each question adds another layer of mystery to the enigma that was Charlie Chaplin, drawing us deeper into the intrigue that surrounded his life and death. But was it really the end? Or did the enigma called Chaplin continue to live on? We may never know for sure, but one thing is certain. The legend of Charlie Chaplin continues to captivate us even long after his final curtain call. Even in death, Chaplin continues to baffle us. Despite the passage of time, there's an enduring shroud of mystery around this iconic figure. The circumstances surrounding his death, for one, have been a subject of much speculation and conjecture. Officially, Chaplin died of natural causes on Christmas Day 1977 at the ripe old age of 88. But like many aspects of his life, the end of Chaplin's journey isn't free from controversy. A wave of conspiracy theories have surfaced over the years, suggesting that Chaplin's death was not as straightforward as it seemed. Some propose that foul play was involved, others suggest that he took his own life. The most intriguing of these theories, however, posits that Chaplin, the master of illusion and dramatics, staged his own death. According to this theory, he faked his demise only to vanish and live out the rest of his days in quiet anonymity. While this theory lacks concrete evidence, it certainly adds an extra layer of fascination to Chaplin's already captivating life story. But the mysteries don't end there. Beyond his death, another enigma swirls around Chaplin's marital life. It's well known that Chaplin was married 4 times. However, whispers and rumors suggest that there might have been other secret marriages. Some sources even propose that Chaplin may have had male partners, a notion that was certainly taboo during his lifetime. These alleged secret unions, if true, would add a wholly unexpected facet to Chaplin's complex persona. Each of these unresolved mysteries contributes to the enigmatic aura that continues to surround Chaplin. They serve as reminders that despite his global fame and influence, there was much about Chaplin that was deeply personal and private. And so, the legend of Charlie Chaplin lives on, shrouded in mysteries and speculations. His life, his work, and even his death continue to captivate and intrigue us, making him an enduring figure of fascination decades after his curtain call. Charlie Chaplin, a man of many talents and many mysteries. This extraordinary figure, adored by millions, faced a steep decline in popularity post-World War II due to shifting tastes and political upheaval. The McCarthyist era cast him as a subversive left-wing influence, leading him to flee the United States in 1952 amidst accusations of communist sympathies. Chaplin found refuge in Switzerland, where he spent the rest of his days until he breathed his last on Christmas Day, 1977. His death at the ripe age of 88 was officially attributed to natural causes, but whispers of foul play, suicide, and even theories about him staging his own death have added a layer of mystery to this enigmatic figure. Further intrigue surrounds Chaplin's personal life, particularly his marriages. Though he acknowledged 4 marriages, some suggest there may have been more, possibly even to male partners. Despite extensive research, much about Chaplin's life remains shrouded in mystery. His origins, his early life before the limelight, his exile, his death, and his secret wives all contribute to the enigma that is Charlie Chaplin. As we continue to enjoy his timeless works, we also continue to unravel the many layers of this fascinating man. For now, though, the final curtain has fallen, and the stage is empty. Until next time, keep seeking the truth. This is the Truth Chronicles signing off. Keep seeking the truth.